Welcome back to Elevation Perspective. My name is Mark, joined today with Anthony the Heel Romano and Frank Tropiano. We are here today to talk about the 2025 Royal Rumble event this Saturday, the best time of year for us wrestling fans. Before we deep dive into the two Rumble matches, we do have a WWE Championship match to talk about between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. I'll kick this question to start things off to the heel. Anthony, do you see any world here where Kevin Owens wins this championship?
Fellas, it's good to be back on Elevation Perspective. I don't, but I'm very intrigued as to where this storyline is going with Kevin Owens and now seemingly the insertion of Sami Zayn into this rivalry. The setup last night on Raw was very interesting with the second straight week of Sami giving a haluva kick accidentally to one of his friends. The week before was Seth. Last night was Cody. I don't know where we're going with this. Clearly, KO is trying to get Sami to interfere in this match to make him world champ. And seemingly KO would then maybe help Sami win the Rumble, or he would just grant Sami a title match. They're telling a story here. What this story is, I don't know. I don't think we're putting the real belt on Kevin. But I'm really thoroughly enjoying the story that's being told. And so I think it's going to be a great match regardless. I just don't know if I believe we're getting a title change.
Yeah, I mean, I think I got to agree with the heel here. I don't know where we're going, which is probably going to be a theme that comes up quite a bit tonight as we talk about the Rumble and everything going on with both Rumbles, really. I do want Sami to interfere in that match. Whether Kevin wins or not, I do want to see Sami get involved in that match, though. And I think at this point, he's got to be present at some point in time in the match, even if it's just to tell Kevin, no, I'm not helping you.
Yeah, Sami will definitely be out there in some capacity, whether it is to help Kevin or not. I'll tell you what, before the promo last night on Raw between CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, I thought there was a slight chance they were going to do it. I thought maybe Sami comes out there, helps Kevin Owens, we have a new champion. But after that promo, I'm back to no way. Cody is definitely retaining.
Do you want my theory about all of this?
Sure.
Because this is coming from granted, I'm not really a Marvel guy. I've seen a few of the movies. But I feel like we're about to enter phase 2 of the Cody Rhodes title reign. And by that, I mean, I feel like we're about to enter a much maybe darker version of Cody Rhodes. I'm not necessarily saying he's going to turn heel, but the promo last night with Punk seemed to indicate that the waters are about to get a little choppy for Cody as we enter WrestleMania season. I don't think anybody really knows what direction they're going because 8 different people have now insinuated that they're going to be the challenger to Cody at WrestleMania. But it's going to get interesting, and I think Cody is going to be tested as to where his allegiances lie and what kind of character he's going to be moving forward. I think it's all shaping up to be very entertaining, but it's going to look different than the Cody that we've seen, I think, for the last year.
And it just goes to show you WWE is running the same play that has worked. They're just kind of disguising it in different ways. We're going to run this show through Cody Rhodes, and we will talk about Roman Reigns later tonight, but that's the formula, and it's been working, and it's going to work again. It's going to be awesome on Saturday.
I do agree with you. We're definitely seeing a darker side of Cody, a really, really well done promo from him yesterday, really well presented. I think we are getting that heel turn. It's going to be slow. I don't think it's going to be just chair shot to someone. Cody's a heel now. It's going to be a very slow, methodical pace here. Maybe it starts maybe a little cheating in the ladder match with Kevin. I don't know exactly how they're going to do it, but I do see Cody probably being a heel going into WrestleMania as the champion. That's just the way I kind of see all this shaping up. But do we all have Cody retaining the belt on Saturday?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So now what we have been waiting for, we'll start things off with the Women's Royal Rumble match. For both matches here, we're going to break down the matches in the fullest. We're going to do an Iron Man. We're going to do most eliminations, biggest surprise, Final Four, and the winner. Frank, I'll kick the first thing off to you here. The women's Iron Man / workhorse. Who do you have?
Man, everything in my gut is saying Bayley is going to be the person because she's just always the person. To me, it's Bayley for sure.
It's funny that you said Bayley because I'm going with the one that basically teased an interaction with Bayley last night. I'm going Io Sky. I think it's she's just an obvious choice. I think they trust her to be out there. She's one of the best female wrestlers going right now. I think she's trustworthy. She's always performed in these spots. I think she's been in every War Games match. I think they'll just let her go out there. She'll probably be a lock for a top 10, 1 through 10 entrant and keep her out there for as long as they need her.
Both very good guesses. I even think Io Sky has a dark horse chance to win this entire match. My workhorse here, I'm going to go with Chelsea Green. I think she provides a lot of fun value just going out there early. Of course, she is currently the Women's United States Championship holder, but there's a few different ways you can go about this with Chelsea Green. She can either be like the silly heel who's going in and out of the ring, just kind of finding different ways to not be eliminated, or they can kind of take that next step with her and actually put on a really good show wrestling wise. But whatever you do with her, I think she can further her United States Championship with. She can go ahead and cut promos and say, I was in the Rumble for 45 minutes, whatever it might be. And I think Chelsea Green does make a lot of sense in that regard. We'll throw the next one here to the heel first. Heel, how many, or I should say, who do you see having the most eliminations here for the women?
I mean, to me, it's obvious. It's Nia Jax. I mean, I think she's at the peak of her career right now. I think her title reign was excellent. I thought one of her best matches was probably her last match as champion, the match with Naomi right before Tiffany cashed in. She was great. Really enjoyed her match with Rhea at Saturday night's main event. I think she's one of the most entertaining female superstars going right now. And obviously, she's just the dominant force. She's Nia Jax. I think they're going to continue to make her look strong. I don't see any reason not to pick her to eliminate 3, 4, 5 people. Who knows how many?
Nia definitely has to be a favorite for this category. I'm going to go with Charlotte Flair. I think they've already announced that she's going to come back. It's not a surprise. For that reason, I see her being a semi-early entrant, not like a top 5, maybe like toward the early teens. Probably throw over like 5 to 7 people, might even win the whole thing. But I'll take Charlotte. Frank, who do you have for the most eliminations?
Feels kind of easy. I think heel is onto something with Nia. I think she's going to have a dominant run. But to me, whenever you get a chance to make Bianca Belair look like the best, wrestler in the company, you just do it. And I think that she's going to be dominant in this one. The stars are out in this match for sure. Especially if we get Becky and Asuka, and I know we're going to talk about surprises in a little bit, but it's a good chance to remind everyone that she's probably the brightest star in this women's division, and that is not a knock on anybody else in it.
I will go first here for the biggest surprise. A lot of rumor names, like you said previously, Frank. Becky Lynch, Asuka. I think Nikki Bella has a lot of hype right now. Jade Cargill. For me, I'm going a little bit off the rails here with AJ Lee. Punk's been back now for over a year. There's been some rumors that she wants to get back into the ring. I feel like now is the perfect time. I don't ever see her getting back in any kind of full capacity, but a nice pop for the Rumble, maybe leading to some kind of WrestleMania story. Maybe just a one-off. That's fine too. But I think we see AJ Lee at this Royal Rumble.
I mean, AJ, I if we heard that music, I would, I would pop big, and I'm sure the crowd would too. The surprise that I'm going with is one that you said. To me, it's Nikki Bella. It seems like after that appearance on Raw, she looked, she looked like she was in good spirits after, everything that had happened to her prior. So I'm hoping she gets back in. I hope we see her, and she'll be great.
All right. Bear with me. I did some research here. There's not many wrestlers, period, that hail from the state of Indiana. One of which is a former stablemate of the current men's tag team champions. I think Sarah Logan comes back as her previous alter ego. Valhalla's dead. R.I.P. She's back. The Indiana native in Indianapolis makes her return at the Royal Rumble. What do we think?
Me and Mark were really focused on the star power there. We were trying to find big names to put in here. You went with Sarah Logan, and I love it, and I can't knock it because I wasn't going to say it. You knew Mark wasn't going to say it, so I love it. And I hope to see Sarah Logan now. I hope you're right.
We could fantasy book Sarah Logan rejoining with Liv Morgan, some kind of old Riot Squad.
Listen, there is now a mid-tier level of the women's division that we've never seen before. And so I can't profess to be a historian of Sarah Logan's career, but anyone can compete for the IC and the US titles now. So, there's room for anybody, in my opinion.
You definitely went off the beaten path with that choice there. I like it. Frank, I'm going to give you the first shot here. I fear that we're going to have very similar answers, all three of us. Maybe not after that Romano Sarah Logan toss. But Frank, give me your final four.
My final four. This is tough because I'm going to say names that I'm not even confirming are in this match, but I'm going to go Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, and Nia Jax.
Okay.
That's my four.
Really?
Charlotte, Becky, Nia, Bianca. That's who I wrote down.
All right. So I do have two different ones than you guys. So that's good for content. I have Charlotte and Becky. My other two here, Liv Morgan, who always comes in second, and then Jordynne Grace, who just recently left TNA, signed with WWE. I think she's a lock to be in this match. I think she's going to look amazing. She's a dark horse to win this match, in my opinion, as well. So I'm going to go with those four.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong here. Like, Liv Morgan, that's a great pick. Didn't even cross my mind. I don't know why. She just had a lengthy women's title reign, so definitely somebody there. If Nikki Bella is returning, you would think that they'd want her in a pretty prominent spot. Could be in that final four. So I think there's a lot of names: Naomi, Bayley, Io. There's like a lot of women that deserve to be showcased here, and I really don't think they can go wrong either way.
I get concerned with someone like Liv when she's attached to her bodyguard, Raquel Rodriguez. Like, unless they're both there, I think if something happens to Raquel, maybe something also happens to Liv. You get a spot where they both get sent out at the same time. That's what makes me a little wishy-washy on Liv. I could certainly see her being there in the end. Jordynne Grace, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know enough about her. The only time I've ever seen her wrestle was last year's Rumble. So it would be cool, especially if she's now full-time in WWE. I'd be about it, but I think our four, Frank, are just, especially if Becky does indeed come back, we know Charlotte's there. Bianca hasn't really been a part of the main event scene in about a year. And obviously Nia she's kind of rolling. She's gotten a bunch of title matches. I feel like she's just,
Just
there.
In regards to Bianca there, of course, she's going to be one of the favorites to win this entire match, but I see her getting kind of caught up in the Jade Cargill return plus Naomi drama. That's why I don't think she's going to get to that final four. I think Jade comes back and we're going to get some kind of resolution to that story. Like, it was you, Bianca, or it was you, Naomi, who took me out, and that would kind of implode in itself, causing them to eliminate each other.
We need an answer to that story. That needs to happen. Yeah, no, that needs to happen.
I could definitely see if Jade's ready to go, she could be in this match. The two of them could be mowing down people together, and then all of a sudden, one of them can turn right on the other one and throw the other one out of the ring, and then boom, you have your WrestleMania match that has nothing to do with the title, and that could be really beneficial to the both of them. So I could definitely see that happening too.
The problem is Naomi is also involved with them now, and so you have to find a way to tell that story. I'm interested to see what happens there.
We've joked around like amongst ourselves about this build for the women specifically, that there has been no build for the women. That's because we keep talking about these names here in Charlotte and Becky and Jade and Jordynne Grace. The girls that we're expecting in this match aren't on TV right now. So it's really hard to kind of build up to this match when we kind of know that the winner or the finalists aren't even on TV.
Well, I was going to say, Frank, who of the stars that have been on TV for the last 6 to 7 months? It's Liv, it's Nia, it's Bianca, it's Bayley, it's Naomi, and then you have the two champs. Those are really the upper echelon of the women's division. I guess you want to throw Raquel in there, but those are the ones that we would expect of the active ones that we know are going to be in the match, that they're probably going to have integral roles. I'd throw Io Sky in there too, but that's kind of the way I see it. And to Mark's point, we don't really know of the other ones. Who is Jade going to be back? Is Bianca even, or is Becky even going to be back? We don't actually know.
I expect some NXT influence on this match for sure. Roxanne Perez, there's no reason she's not in this match, right? Like, there's no reason. She just lost the NXT Women's title.
She's all but been called up at this point.
Right. Cora Jade, another one. Why not? Right? She was on TNA the other day. why can't she be in this match? And I think that there are more women on the NXT roster that could absolutely fill in the gaps here. So I'm excited to see them. I always like hearing different music hit, and like we hear about these people on NXT. Sometimes, we tune into an NXT show and now seeing them come up and seeing them come into the Royal Rumble, already getting to interact with all these, these hopefully stars that are going to be in that match. I love that every single year. So I'm looking forward to that.
Now for our winner. Anthony, I'll let you choose first. Who do you have winning the Women's Royal Rumble match?
I got Charlotte Flair. I think Charlotte Flair wins, challenges Tiffany Stratton, and we get a prime time matchup at WrestleMania for the title. I think the story tells itself. We haven't seen her in about a year. Probably what was it last Rumble that we saw her? I don't even remember. I think it would be a great way for her to return, get her right back into the title mix. I don't know what else you're doing with Charlotte if she's not competing for a title. I think that's a perfect WrestleMania opponent for Tiffany Stratton.
I do hate to agree, but I have Charlotte winning this match as well. Frank, let's see if you can be the shining light and not pick Charlotte.
I mean, listen, everything you guys are saying makes sense, and it's going to make way more sense than what I'm saying, but I'm going to have to be different just for the sake of being different. So I will take a returning Becky Lynch because I think the crowd would be unhinged. She doesn't have to, she can come in nice and late, that nice 27 spot. I don't think a woman's won from that 27 spot yet. So let's bring her in at 27. She can win the whole thing. Her versus Tiffy, that's great. Her versus Rhea, that's great. Doesn't matter. Whatever they choose to do, it'll be great with Becky.
The only thing with that is we just did Rhea Becky last year.
Yeah,
and so I don't think we can't do that again, in my opinion.
It would be a rematch.
She would have to go against Tiffany, I think, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys, like I said, I think you're right, but we got to be different here, right? We got to give an elevated perspective over here. So,
I like that.
And just one last toss, and I really could see Jordynne Grace winning this match and challenging Rhea. I think Jordynne Grace versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania could really work, but that really just depends on how much faith Triple H has in Jordynne Grace at this point, just coming over full time. But for right now, we'll go with Charlotte, and then for Frank, we'll go with Becky.
I don't think Liv Morgan has a chance of winning this match. We can't do Liv Rhea again. It's not happening.
I never thought she had a chance to win. Just think she's going to have a nice showing.
That's fair.
Now it's time for the men's Royal Rumble match. We'll kick things off to the heel first here. Heel, who do you have as your Iron Man in this match?
I mean, this one's basically a toss-up. There's so many guys who could come in, and they have so many guys right now who could play this role, and there might, for all we know, be 4 or 5 guys who are in this match for upwards of 30, 40 minutes. But I think Seth Rollins is my go-to pick to come in early. In fact, I could see him coming in at number 1 and just lasting – I don't want to spoil it, but I do have him in my final 4, so I could see him being there throughout the entire match. He's Seth. He's easy. I don't think you're giving this role to someone like Cena or Punk or some of the older, battered guys in this match. I don't think Roman's getting this role. I think Seth is the perfect level of high draw, but also high ability to perform this. He's done it in the past. I think Seth's in this match for a while.
To me, there's someone who should do it, and then there's my guess of who actually is going to do it. The person who should be number 1, like no doubt should be number 1, is Roman Reigns, okay? He's a baby face right now. He doesn't have to come in the late 20s or 30. The entire WWE since he came back, what was it, SummerSlam or right before SummerSlam, right? The entire WWE has revolved around Roman Reigns. Listen to the motivations of Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens, why they're doing what they're doing right now, right? And then you've got guys like Sami Zayn and Jay and Jimmy who have their stories have revolved around Roman. You've got Punk who just teamed with Roman. You've got Seth Rollins who has this long history with Roman. Give every single one of those people a chance to interact with Roman Reigns. Now, do I actually think they're going to do that? No, I don't. And so I will say, if Sami Zayn does not get involved in the Cody Rhodes match, I like Sami Zayn to be the long man here. It's been the story. They've been building it up as, he can't get to that extra level. And I don't think he's going to win this match, but having him in it for a really long time and having like the crowd get behind him and then having that heartbreak defeat, that could be really, that could be a really good story that they tell throughout the match.
To your Roman Reigns point, Frank, I disagree. I don't think he's going to come in at number one. I know you basically said that too. But if there's anything that could lend credence to that, it's last night or on this week's episode of Raw, Paul Heyman literally saying it's another edition of One versus All. He made it very clear that it's Roman Reigns versus the world. So maybe that was a little bit of a spoiler that maybe it is One versus All. But
It would
to
be
me,
a
I
lot
don't,
of
I
fun.
don't
We
buy
would
it.
all get really excited if that's how the Roman match started, but Roman's not going for an hour plus.
I don't
It
buy
would
it. Yeah,
just
no,
it would just be so good. Like imagine like whoever you put in at the 2 spot. Like imagine Roman's music hits and everyone's like, okay, here we go. And then like imagine Seth Rollins comes out next. Imagine they put those two guys in the ring for just that minute and 30 seconds. It would be ridiculous.
Someone that we haven't mentioned, Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's the perfect two for whoever comes in number one.
Yeah,
Whether it's
I could see him being an hour plus in this match.
I want to let Mark answer before I start throwing
Oh,
out.
that's right. We didn't even get Mark's answer. Did I take your answer?
No, you did not. Maybe you picked my answer for something else, but it's fine. We'll get there when we get there. For my workhorse here, I kind of mapped this out in a different way. I'm going with Penta because I know in Royal Rumble matches, they tell multiple stories. There's different segments of the match. I see the first segment of this match being a tribute essentially to Penta, making him look amazing. He'll get a couple eliminations, do a bunch of awesome spots, probably eliminate the likes of Chad Gable, furthering their feud. I think Penta lasts a good 40 minutes or so, just looks amazing, and probably gets thrown over by a real main eventer like a Roman, a Seth, whoever it might be. But I'll take Penta as my workhorse here.
I like that a lot. I think that's outside of the box too, because the other names I was thinking were Jimmy and Jay. I think they both have to, Big Jim, he's improving his stock weekly. Jay, obviously, everyone will get excited for, especially if, he could do the whole entrance with whatever rapper they have on hand in Indianapolis. I don't know any rappers from Indianapolis, but they'll find one.
I guess that's true. He could actually do an entrance if he comes in at 1 or 2.
Right. And so I think that definitely
it.
lends some credence to Jay being number one. But, and then Sammy and Seth, where I think those are like the 4 or 5 guys that really are the one spot. That's what I was thinking. Every time I think of the long guy, I always think of the one spot. But someone could come in at 3 and then last the rest of the match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Penta can also absolutely come in at 1. I wasn't even thinking that. I think that's a good pick too.
He also has an awesome entrance they can do to the fullest if he was 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Because I teased it, I'll go first here with most eliminations. I am going Jacob Fatu. He's being built up as a true over-the-top superstar now. I think he's going to be in there for a very long time. I think he's going to go around 8 to 10 eliminations, just going to come in there and just clear house at some point and rack him up. I think Jacob's pretty safe to get a lot of eliminations in this match.
Yeah, it's hard for me not to agree. It's a shame that Bronson Reed is hurt because he would have been a good pick for this, I think. I think Cena might be an outside candidate if he comes in and just clears the ring, 5 or 6 guys, if someone else doesn't really rack up a multitude of eliminations. But I think I'm just going to agree with you. I think Jacob Fatu, after what we saw him do to Braun Strowman at Saturday night's main event, it's clear his push is coming and coming quickly. I think the Rumble's the perfect spot for that.
Okay. And for the sake of being different once again, because it feels like I'm getting put in this spot quite a bit, I will go with Drew McIntyre. I don't necessarily think Drew's going to win, but this is a perfect chance for him to be the big old bully that he is and just knock every high mid-carder, because really you're not getting into this match if you're a low on the mid-card. You are LA Knight or you are Logan Paul. You are up there, and I could just see Drew throwing them all over. A bunch of claymores just flying around the ring.
All right. For our biggest surprise, Romano, you go first. Who is your biggest surprise return entrant for this Royal Rumble match?
In our private conversations, we've kind of tried to narrow down, okay, who are our 30? Because as Frank kind of just alluded to, there's not really a lot of wiggle room in this match for outside people, legends. I don't think we're seeing any real legends in this match come back. I think every spot is going to mean something. So I don't know if we're really getting many true surprises. I think every name that you might hear is one that you probably assume could be there, but for the sake of picking, I'm going to pick Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler. I think he just lost the TNA championship. It's a perfect chance for him to take advantage of this new partnership between WWE and TNA. I don't know if we'll hear the "I'm here to show the world" music, but I think we might see Dolph back in this match.
Yeah, I think we're expecting some kind of TNA influence in this match. We're not sure at what capacity, but Nick Nemeth, Joe Hendry, the Hardy Boys, lots of different options there. Frank, who do you have here?
Yeah, I mean, you said it there at the end. I'm gonna go with Jeff Hardy. I think Jeff could absolutely be in this match. He's with TNA. He's a WWE legend. Crowd would pop huge. He's a big name. It seems easy to me. I think we've all three have kind of agreed that Joe Hendry has to be in this match, so we're not even counting him as a surprise at this point.
It wouldn't be a surprise to me. No,
you're saying it wouldn't be, right?
No.
Yeah.
I listen. I mean, it is a surprise,
right?
But it's also like ever since he debuted and his theme song went viral, he was like a lock to be in the Rumble to me. So
yeah, I mean, he had the third biggest clip for WWE on X and YouTube was him at NXT. So yeah, Joe Hendry aside, I think Jeff Hardy would be really cool. Matt could also be in it.
All right, so for my surprise here, I'm going to go a little bit off of the path of TNA. I'm going to go with Goldberg. I think Goldberg comes back here. Big pop, can definitely look pretty good in a situation like the Royal Rumble where he's not overly exposed. And here's what I have here. Goldberg and John Cena have an interaction, which I don't believe has ever happened before. I have not done the research there. I just couldn't really think in my head if that has ever happened before. And I think that Goldberg eats an attitude adjustment, does not go any further than that. Just a big moment of John Cena delivering an attitude adjustment to Goldberg. And then whoever, I'm not sure who at this point, whoever eliminates Goldberg gets him in a one-on-one match at WrestleMania in Goldberg's retirement match. A lot of different layers there. Do we hate it? Do we think it's got a chance? How do we feel?
I certainly think it has a chance. I worry about bringing Goldberg back in a match with the absolute star power, current day star power that is in the WWE right now. I worry that any momentum he might have, that the crowd might boo him and that it might work against him. Like people can't, like, I don't know if anyone actually is going to believe that he's going to win, but like, especially if he comes in at like that 25 mark and he starts clearing some house, it could be pretty nerve wracking for the crowd. And I could see them turning against him.
I think we have to move on. I think we have to move on from this. I think Goldberg probably has one more match left, and it's probably with Gunther if it ever happens. Is this how we get there? I don't even think so, because Gunther's obviously not going to be in this match. So I don't like it. I think more than any other Rumble maybe ever, this Rumble should be focused on the current talent that is in WWE. It's the Netflix era. It's the Triple H era. Everyone has said it. It's the most star-studded Rumble ever. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's certainly one of, if not the most star-studded Rumble ever. I don't think you need the decrepit old body of Goldberg in there. The last time he appeared in WWE, nobody really cared. And what does he do? He goes in, it's a couple of jackhammers and a couple of spears, and you call it that. We don't need it.
Fair enough. While we're talking about surprises here, just kind of a simple yes or no. Brock Lesnar.
No.
Paul Heyman said the one in something, and it was
I heard that too.
And I'm gonna
the
say
one
no.
Behind. He said the one behind the one.
Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna say no, but there's always a chance.
The Rock.
I feel better about The Rock than I do about Brock, but I'm still gonna say no.
No, so saying no to both.
I would consider both of those pretty big surprises in my book. I would lean towards I'm not expecting either of them to show up.
What about since all three of us have Kevin Owens losing, do we see him entering the Rumble later that night?
I thought about picking him as my surprise, but I feel like he's more likely to show up in a non-entrant capacity and wreak havoc, whether it's against Sammy, if Sammy helps Cody, or maybe it's to help Sammy. I don't know, but I feel like he'd more likely show up in a, like, maybe he'll pile drive somebody, or nobody also has mentioned Randy Orton, who I don't consider him a surprise, but I feel like he will be back in this match. They could have something. So Probably not an entrant, but probably there in some
Yeah,
capacity.
Randy's in the same light there as Becky and Charlotte. Where is he confirmed? I'm not even sure if he's confirmed yet, but we just all expect he's going to be in this match.
Yeah, I mean, he's been away for a while there. I don't think that it was a real injury. I think he just took the holidays off to be with his family, which good for him. And I'm ready to see him back whenever he comes. Just another name on the list of names that are going to be in this match.
I saw
What
it
do you mean
today.
it wasn't a real injury? He took a package pile driver.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. The most dangerous move in wrestling.
We got to keep kayfabe alive.
I will say this. They've almost made it a charade, but it is great how he now puts everybody into the opening stages of the move. Like he had Shawn Michaels in, and Cole went nuts the other night. Oh my god, he almost gave Michaels the package pile driver. I mean, it's great. They've really sold this move as the ultimate death move of the WWE, and it's put Randy on the shelf for 2 months. So I like it.
So we went over all of our possible surprises. On to the final four now. Anthony, we'll let you go first here. Who was your final four for this match?
All right, so I had a few names going in and out when I was kind of drawing this up earlier. And to me, the four that I came up with are the four that have been linked to each other across this storyline that is dragged between Raw and SmackDown really over the past year or so. My final four of this Royal Rumble is CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre. I think the four of them will be the final four in the ring. All four have incredible history with each other. There are storylines interweaving. CM Punk still is owed a favor by Paul Heyman. Seth Rollins made it very clear that he plans to throw everybody over the ring, including Roman Reigns. Drew McIntyre literally told Paul Heyman last night that he is going to throw both Roman Reigns and CM Punk over. All four of them are so intertwined that I think something has to happen here. And by doing this, I understand that I'm not including John Cena in my final four, and that might be controversial, but to me, if I was drawing it up, I would have these four be the final four standing because I think this is the story that WWE has been telling us for months and months and months, and to have these four men be the ones standing in each other's individual way to get to the main event of WrestleMania, I think is the perfect way to tell it.
I do love that. I think that would be an incredible story if it was told correctly, but you said it yourself there at the end. I think there's a 0% chance that John's not in the final four here.
And that's fair. And honestly, I probably agree with that. But I was trying to think of a world where he is eliminated by one of these men and it sets up an elimination chamber thing, or maybe he's eliminated by Logan Paul and it sets something up. Like, to me, there is a world where there is a shocking Cena elimination and it just sets up this continuous story of he can't win the big one. He's coming up just short. I mean, I know we discussed it privately, but he hasn't even appeared to promote himself outside of his one appearance on the Netflix debut. So I don't really know where John Cena stands. I don't know what his mindset is going into this match. So he's a total wild card for me.
Frank, how do you feel about Romano's final four leaving John Cena out, and who you think will be the final four?
I can't even blame him because I mean there are so many names. Like I know I'm gonna say four names, and then there's gonna be about four or five names where I'm like, no, that guy could be in. Like if okay, say for example, right, Sami Zayn. I don't think he's gonna be in either of your top four. He's not in my top four, right? But say he gets involved in that Cody match, and then Kevin is out there actively helping him win this match, right? And then you have
It was tough for me to not include him in my story right there because he also fits in that story.
right. I'll give you another example. This one Mark might have Jey Uso. He's one of the hottest acts in wrestling right now. He could absolutely be, probably should be in the top four. You know what I mean? With the way that he is being booked and the way he's so over with the crowd, right? You got guys like
Jacob Fatu,
Jacob Fatu, LA Knight,
Randy Orton,
Logan Paul. All these guys could be in the final four. That being said, I'm taking Heel's final four almost exactly, but I am taking out Drew McIntyre and I am putting John Cena in. That might be boring. That might be by the book, But I think that as good of a story as Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns is, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins is just that inch better. And CM Punk, I don't want to give away my winner, but I think CM Punk is going to be the one that throws John Cena out of this match.
So you're putting John in there and you're taking out Drew? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So it's Punk, Cena, Roman, Seth.
So these are all different combinations of the same men. As we all give a bunch of options as well, I'm going with Punk, Cena, Drew, and Roman. So same situation there. I put John in like Frank did. I do like your story a lot, Heel. I just feel like John is either going to win this match or probably be the last one thrown over.
Well, I guess basically what it comes down to is, and listen, maybe I'm just overthinking it and it's not this serious with every elimination has to tell this elaborate story. Some guy, Seth might just get thrown over the rope and whatever. It may not lead to another match. But I guess in Frank's world, Drew's getting thrown over before the final four. Mark, in your world, Seth's getting thrown over. And I guess maybe it's by the other. Maybe in your world, it's Drew throws over Seth, Seth throws over Drew. And I guess that could still happen in my world too. But it's just I have to believe that we are building to something epic. And I don't know. I don't know if this is the favor being called in or not. I don't know. I am intrigued to watch this. I normally am not a huge Rumble guy, but this is one that I am intrigued to watch.
That's an impossible take as a wrestling fan. I'm usually not a Rumble guy.
To me, every year it's been pretty predictable.
Triple H has had a hard time so far in his tenure. He's done a lot of things really well, but the Rumble has not been one of them.
I mean, considering the last two Rumbles, it's been the same winner, almost the exact same finish. I mean, what was Cody Gunther both years?
Cody Punk last year.
Punk was last year, but Gunther was what, the final three?
Yeah, and Cody threw him out again.
They both, were the headlines of the Rumble both years. Obviously, Punk, was a wrinkle last year, but I don't know. I just feel like we finally don't know what's going to happen, and I'd like to believe that there is a swerve somewhere that we're not thinking of in this dramatic storyline involving so many different guys. And John Cena's just not in this storyline. I'm sorry. Like, they just haven't included him in this story enough for me to believe that he deserves to be in the final four. He probably will be. I don't think he should be.
I'm fine. I'm fine with that logic, but I do want to point out that before the Rumble hype, and everyone started realizing who was going to be in this match, John Cena's farewell tour this has been announced 6 months in advance, more than that. I mean, it was before SummerSlam. He was on I forget which pay-per-view it was, but he was on there saying
it was Money in the Bank. Yeah.
Starting January, this is going to be my year. So look, I'm not saying he's definitely going to be in the final four. I am saying he is going to have to play a massive role in this match. And the beautiful thing about the Rumble is we probably sold it too short. We probably should have done like the final 8, really, because there are going to be multiple storylines playing out. Like you mentioned Punk and Roman, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, Punk and Cena need to do something. You know what I mean? And the beauty of the Rumble is both of those things can happen.
It really just, honestly, it's so many times in the Rumble, because there's so much going on. It really just depends on who enters when,
right,
and who's already in the ring at the time. And it's just like,
and I think
you may not get all of these individual interactions that you're hoping to get and see, and maybe it doesn't pay off like I'm expecting it to in this grand showdown between 4 or 5 guys who are connected with each other. But it feels like it has to, right? With all the star power we're hearing about. And yeah, you can definitely include Cena in that. And, he has history with Roman. I mean, for God's sakes, he was in the main event of WrestleMania last year. So you could certainly include him in that group. And obviously he's got plenty of history with Punk, but
I do think the Rumble here is a very important opportunity for the John Cena farewell tour, that he doesn't have time to get into feuds with all of these guys, but there's opportunities and moments there that he can have with different wrestlers on the roster that can be really important for both John and that wrestler. So I hope they're carefully plotting this out. I'm sure they are, but it's a really important match in John Cena's farewell tour.
All right. I have a question for you, Mark.
Okay.
where do you have John Cena entering in the Rumble then? Because
Let's
in my
go.
mind, with you saying that, I have him early to middle, not really late.
I have him 18, 17, 18. I think that's the sweet spot. He doesn't have to go over half. He can get knocked down for a little while. He'll come in hot. Well, there because I think this thing is going to be backloaded. Like Punk Roman, we're expecting to come in at the back. I'm assuming, right? I don't know about you guys. I'm expecting Punk to be a later entrant. And then like I said, I want Roman 1, but I think in reality he's going to be closer to 30 than he is to 1. I think Randy's going to be a guy where if he does come back, he's not coming in 1, so there's no point in not having him in the 20s. McIntyre could be a guy middle of the pack, but later. So to me, if you want all these guys in there at the same time, you can have guys like Sammy and guys like Seth and guys like Jay go, right? They'll be the big ones, and they can workhorse their way to the back of this match, and then you'll have it a little bit backloaded with the McIntyres and the Reigns and the Punks. And I think they can still get all these guys in the match at the same time. Unfortunately, it comes at the cost of a Penta. Or again, I keep saying LA Knight because I still think he's awesome and he should play a big role, but just maybe not this Saturday.
No, I think John definitely has to go out there somewhere toward the middle, like you were saying previously, especially since we have talked about this kind of in a frustrating manner that John was not there for any of the build to the Rumble, didn't even show up for the go home show. So if John was to go out there in like the 20s, that'd be kind of brutal, especially the way this is hyped up as his final Royal Rumble match. And he has to have a significant role in this match. He has to be out there for a half hour or so. So I'm thinking around 15 makes a lot of sense for John.
I wonder, I haven't seen any advertisements. I wonder if he'll be on SmackDown because it's in Indianapolis and I assume everybody will be there. I don't know what they have planned for SmackDown, but I wonder if he I mean, I don't know. Does he do something with Cody? Does he do something with I mean, who else is even on Smack? It's like Kevin Owens and LA Knight. I guess SmackDown's kind of been neutered. Maybe him and Damian Priest have a
No, that's a good point. I
together.
kind of when he wasn't on Raw, I was kind of just totally dejected and said, John's not even here for the go home. But that's a good point. He could be there on Friday to really send us home into Saturday, into the Rumble match itself. And maybe
they're doing a like a Friday preview show too, which I don't ever remember them doing. There's like a kickoff show on Friday night on Peacock, and then a pre-show on. So they're really rolling out all the stops, and it's an early start time for this too. So they might just be pulling out all the stops for all we know.
They know it. They know that this is massive. I mean, you see the talent level, and you're right, Heel. I can't go back and say that this is the most talented Rumble ever. But what I can do is, in my tenure as a wrestling fan from 2004, 2005 on, gotta be, if it's not 1, it's 2. You know what I mean? I'm thinking like maybe 2008, something like that.
We could pick 10 different guys who legitimately could win it, and I think that's what actually makes it
special,
as intriguing as it is.
That being said, I know Mark's about to bring us in to pick winners, and
I forgot we didn't pick winners.
I have a feeling that the 3 of us are going to have the exact same guy. So go right ahead. You two go ahead.
Before we go into the winner of this match, does anyone have Roman Reigns winning?
No. That's crazy, right? That's freaking crazy.
Much to the chagrin of the Hounds of Justice, 2 of the 3 are in my final 4.
So here is my next part to that question. Roman Reigns is participating in his first Royal Rumble match since 2020. He, of course, was holding the belt for the majority of that time. How are we getting Roman Reigns eliminated in this match? I don't know if it's as easy as I'm making it out to be, because I think it has to be a whole crazy event, whoever throws out Roman. How do we foresee Roman being eliminated here?
I think we're cashing in the favor, man. I think the time is now. I think it's clobbering time. I think whatever favor Paul Heyman owes CM Punk, I don't know if he's turning on Roman fully. But
is that Brock Lesnar coming out there at Paul's request and throwing over Roman Reigns? What could that favor be in that capacity?
So
I don't know.
I think that they're going to tease this favor the whole, like, I don't know, Punk and whenever Heyman gets out there, they'll like tease it and stuff like that. But I think eventually it should be Drew McIntyre or Seth Rollins that just throws him out. I know it feels simple.
I don't think so.
Maybe it's a combination of the 2 of them, but then again, I'd have to change my final 4. But it's tough. It's tough because he is the guy, you know what I mean? And I think we're all in agreement that we don't think he's going to win. Now, would I be shocked if he was standing there as the victor? No, I would not be shocked. He's Roman Reigns, you know?
But in this same conversation, then if we don't have Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble match, we probably don't have him having a championship heading into Mania. So what does that do for Roman? What is Roman has to have a big time prominent match? Could that be a singles match with a Seth or with a Drew? Is that okay?
Seth Roman WrestleMania, yeah,
Or
you can do
both,
that.
or all three, a
All
multi-man.
three, yeah.
Okay. No, I think Seth is. I think I'd be underwhelmed with Roman versus Drew 101, but I think Seth versus Roman on that stage could be really awesome.
Or the three of them, like
Or
Heel
the
said.
three.
Yeah.
I think you could do triple threat there. I don't to answer your question, Mark, I don't know. I don't know what Roman Reigns has in store for WrestleMania. Last night on Raw really made me want and crave CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. The build to that, the promo skills of both men. I know I texted you both. I thought that was both of their best work since returning to the company for each of them. And Cody's done a lot of good work. Punk to me, the Drew feud was good, but I thought that was his best by far. It felt like finally we were seeing the old CM Punk back, and I want it, man. I want to see it. I want the Mania build for that match. I know you're gonna tell me it's John Cena or whatever. I want Punk. I want Cody. It's clobbering time. That's my pick.
Just lastly, all right, you gave your pick there. I think we're going with CM Punk too, Frank, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, he'll hit it right on the head. After that promo last night, how can I pick against CM Punk? I mean, that was something. That was special. Now, I will say this. If they decide to go in a different direction, I'll also be thrilled because I will not have been expecting it. And so, well, I think it's going to be Punk. I don't know that it's definitely going to be Punk.
Yeah, I too am with CM Punk. Kind of a bummer there that we're all going with the same guy for the men's Royal Rumble match, and Heel and I both went Charlotte for the women. Heel, what were you going to say?
I thought last night's Raw, I think we all agree, was really well done in a lot of different ways. It was the first time that I really thought that it could be Seth, and I also thought it could be Logan Paul. Like I don't know. Part of me thinks maybe they do Logan versus Gunther at WrestleMania. I feel like they probably want him for Elimination Chamber. He's too much of a draw for that type of match. So probably doesn't win the Rumble, but I could see it. I mean, if they could just throw all this stuff out the window, have Logan and John be the last two, and he throws over John, the amount of heat he would. I mean, I don't know.
It's a possibility. No, like we're reading off these names, but they're all certainly possible. I have Punk throwing over John just for the sake of argument. Frank, who do you have Punk eliminating?
So, okay, here's my caveat in terms of if we don't want to make it Punk, right? Seth Rollins needs to get one back. So if Punk's getting eliminated, it's Seth Rollins throwing Punk over the top rope. I don't think there's any question about that, right? We all have Seth. Mark, I know you didn't have him in the final four, but I'm assuming you have him getting very close to that final four.
Final five.
Final five. There you go. But yeah, I think
I don't know, Frank, it could be Drew. He literally said last night, "Tell your boy," and he goes, "And I don't mean Roman Reigns. I mean CM Punk. We thought we were done with this. We're not."
That's true. I mean, that's true. I still think that Seth's going to have to get one back, and if Punk isn't the winner, he'll be thrown over by Seth. But since I'm taking CM Punk, I am saying that it's going to be John Cena that he throws over because that's just going to tug on the heartstrings too much. You know what I mean? That's just too much nostalgia there, and it's a great way to start John's, especially if John comes in and has like this great Rumble, and then like, oh my God, he's getting so close, and then it's Punk the one who takes it away from him. I mean, that would just be that's cinema.
You could just see John sitting on the ramp, circa WrestleMania, losing to The Rock. Maybe Punk gives him a "you can't see me" after he throws him over. I think it'd be tremendous. Heel, I know you're shaking your head. What do you got?
So picture this. Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins' carcasses are outside the ring, having just been eliminated in heartbreaking fashion. And they now have to decide, who do we help win this match? Roman Reigns or CM Punk? And they both hate Punk, but deep in their heart of hearts, they know that they cannot allow Roman Reigns to capture another championship in the WWE. They help CM Punk eliminate Roman Reigns. The three of them together sending Punk to the main event of WrestleMania for the first time.
I like it, but with a caveat, I can't see Punk like teaming up with the two of them to throw Roman out.
I don't know if this is going to be like a put our hands in the center type of thing, but more of like they're kind of there on the outside, having just been eliminated. Punk is attempting to get Roman over, and they maybe seize an opportunity to get him away from a championship opportunity. It's not my job to think of these things.
Well,
I don't know, that's my pick.
I don't think that's going to happen. I do think the elimination of Roman Reigns will be screwy. It's going to be someone he throws over. We'll go back in the ring and take him out. Maybe The Rock comes out. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier on, but I wouldn't be shocked if The Rock was a non-entrant in this Rumble, just came out and took out Roman, and that's your match for WrestleMania. I think there's still a lot of variables there if Rock is available for Mania or not, but
it would be a good callback to go on what you guys were saying. Where Big Show and Kane were beating up Roman when it was just him and Rusev left.
Yeah.
So imagine they had the same thing, right? Even if it's like Kevin Owens out there and Drew McIntyre, right? Just like two people, and then Rock helps Roman fend them off, as obviously there's someone still in the match. But this time, instead of helping Roman, like after he beats those people up, he tosses Roman over the top rope, just like as like a callback to that, and then like to get that would be something like that would be cool.
It's been a lot of fun. I think we've covered a lot. I think we can keep going. But
the truth is, we could sit here for hours and do
we could theorize for a very long time. Is there anything else we want to cover here?
Yes, I have the Motor City Machine Guns winning back their championships in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Is it terrible that I looked at that and said I don't need to bring that up on the show? That's not necessary.
I think it is. I mean, listen, it's been covered. I have a wedding that night. I'm not going to be able to watch this event live. It kills me inside. However, I'm not going to skip that match when I go back and watch because I do think it's going to be a fun match.
Do you guys have a long shot in either of these? Like, I know we talked about EO in the women's, but like, is there anyone where you're like, that person's not on the radar, but like, they could win this match?
It's Jordan Grace for me. Like I said previously,
Jordan.
I think that's a long shot. I do. She's not confirmed.
For sure. 100%.
100%, yeah.
I know you're not super familiar, like you said, Heel, but she's kind of like Jade Cargill, but she can actually go. Like, she's a spectacle. I think she's really well respected in the industry, and she's a really, really talented wrestler. She's going to be in the main event scene. She's going to be there with Charlotte, with Rhea. It's going to be with Bianca. It's the type of wrestler she is. And if they want to just stick that rock on her back, I would not be shocked.
Frank? I'll say this, okay? Hunter, if he wants to pull the ultimate wild card, the ultimate push in that men's match, right? Jey Uso should, I don't know, be the pick. I don't think it's gonna happen. I really don't.
I was gonna say either Solo or Jacob.
I like that too.
That is the first time in our probably hour doing this that we mentioned Solo's name. Kind of sad, but that's kind of where he's at.
I mean, I don't even know if he's gonna be in it.
He's definitely gonna be in it. I don't think he has a shot. I just don't. I don't know what he does. I don't know what he does from here.
Is it too early for Jacob to turn? Can Jacob turn on Solo in this match? Or
I mean, has he not already?
He's like kind of gone off by himself a little bit, but Solo's been off TV. So maybe when he comes back,
right? But we expect him to just now bow down and still be Mr. I Love You Solo when he comes back. Like, it seems like him and Tama are like, they're like, where's Tonga Loa? Where's he been?
He's very hurt.
I hope we have bigger plans for Jacob than a solo match with Solo at Mania. I feel like that'd be pretty underwhelming for Jacob at this point.
I agree. And he clearly showed, I mean, he could be in a match with Gunther, and that would be pretty epic. I don't know. Man, they could do. They really could do whatever they want, and we'd probably enjoy it.
The roster is absolutely stacked. So many different avenues we can go here, but we will end it here. I think we'll do some kind of review. I feel like we're all very.
We have to.
Yeah, either Monday or Tuesday. Maybe we'll hop back on and review
after Raw. I think for sure we got to review this because we've had so many theories.
We'll hop back on for sure.
We got to tell the people if we were right or not.
Yes, sir. After Raw, we'll do that. Hopefully, everyone enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching this video.